Thank you so much. The first thing I'd like to do is just take a moment to bow our heads in recognition of little John Conway, little third grader here in this school that was killed in a car accident, and we'll have his funeral on Tuesday. If you would just join me in just bowing your heads and praying for the family in a moment of silence. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. This was a hard week for the school, with counseling and such, and I'm honored to be here in the Mary A. Fisk Elementary School. I know it means a lot to the community, and so thank you for having me. And Ambassador, thank you so much. Everything the Ambassador said, I absolutely agree with it. If you've heard me speak over the last 2 years, remember when I started campaigning, we didn't have all these hardships with the economy, with energy. We didn't have open borders. We didn't have illegal immigration being the standard. We didn't have, well, we still had out of control spending, but it's really gotten ridiculous, right? And so all of these things, I'm going to go to Washington, D.C. and fight. And I'm going to fight them for you. And if you've heard me talking over the last 2 years, this is my 82nd town hall. And 5 town halls ago, I have brought Senator Hassan with me. And it appears she's on board now. She didn't have that look on her face on Wednesday after the debate. Or, as a matter of fact, during the debate. But nonetheless, she didn't focus on the issues. She did career politician double talk. And she failed to tell everybody that she spent $40 million lying to Granite Staters. Lying to Granite Staters about Don Bolduc. Lying about my position on abortion. Suggesting that I would shut down Social Security, which is a lie. And that I would shut down Medicare, which is a lie. Please do me a favor. And tell those 10 people that you contact, or 20, that those are all lies. That abortion now is a state rights issue. It belongs to you in the state of New Hampshire. It belongs to the legislature. It belongs to the governor, not to the federal government. Also tell them that Don Bolduc will not cut Social Security, that Don Bolduc will protect it, that when she quotes me in her commercials on those numbers, those are actually the numbers that they have taken out of Social Security, that they have stolen from you over the years. And in 3 legislative cycles, she's stolen your money. 6 years of stealing your money. I will protect it. I will reinvest in it. I will make sure that Congress cannot steal from it for pet projects. Like, let me name a few for you that they've used your money for. First one, $1 million to test if selfies put you in a good mood. Several $million to determine whether Panamanian frogs in Panama City have a different mating call than those in the jungle. Who the hell cares? How about this one? Japanese quail. We had quail on the farm. I didn't realize it was Japanese quail, but apparently there is, and they're interested in studying whether or not Japanese quail are more promiscuous when they're given cocaine. Now, where is PETA on that one? They're turning Japanese quail into drug addicts. It's unbelievable. Why? $6 million to New York State to build golf courses. Your money. It's not golf courses in New Hampshire. That doesn't do New Hampshire residents. Everyone else is good. Oh, excuse me. Oh, yeah. Chuck Schumer. That's right. California, $7 million for playgrounds. Wait a minute. Nancy Pelosi. Right? 25 million to build a bridge in Arizona for bird watchers. Hey, listen, I think bird watchers are great. As a matter of fact, I met one at Poor Boys. They came off the trail to say hello to me and tell me they're going to vote for me, and I think bird watching is great. But we don't need to use federal dollars to build a $25 million bridge. All right? I think they can just probably stand on the desert floor and go, yep, that's perfect. I'm just suggesting other things. This is unbelievable. And this is your money. $50 billion in the last round of useless spending. Oh, and how about this precious one? Tunisia and Pakistan are getting millions of dollars to study transgender issues in their country. Why? Why? This is what she's voting for. And that's why she's wearing a Don Bolduc t-shirt. Because she knows it's wrong. Tell people, get the word out that Don Bolduc is not going to do anything to Medicare. That he is going to invest in it, that he is going to make sure that you get in and out of network care everywhere you go, and regardless of how, when, and where you get hurt, you are going to be covered. And when you travel overseas, you're going to be covered. And donut hole inside the Medicare system, we're going to get rid of. And the donut hole has to do with prescription drugs get more expensive the longer you need them. And that's wrong. But they don't talk about that. She pats herself on the back for passing a Medicare bill. And, you know, she tells us that that Medicare bill that's not going to go into effect until 2026, it gives her an opportunity to renege on it. That's just my opinion on it. It should be in effect right now, right? But no, 2026 is going to lower insulin prices for everyone on Medicare. Thumbs up. But it takes out Alzheimer's medication. Bad. See, she never finishes the rest of it. It's a little snippet. Look what I've done. This is what I've done. Well, what you've done is you have forced Granite Staters to make decisions about heating and eating. You have forced moms and dads to eat less in their meal so their children can have more food. You have moms and dads that are skipping meals in some places in this state because they want their kids to have 3 squares. They can't send their kids back with all their school supplies because they can't afford the $800 that it costs to send kids to public school with school supplies. They are embarrassed because they can't afford new clothes for their children to go to school in. My wife and I sit with them and we cry with them. You can't help but not feel their pain. And it's getting worse. And this is what Senator Hassan and Joe Biden and Cory Booker, who just came here to speak for her, and Elizabeth Warren. Ouch! They had a controlled event, 15, 20 people. They never showed the crowd, they just showed them. Holding each other's hands up like, yes, let's screw New Hampshire some more. Right? That's what it was. It was terrible. And the coup de grace, they brought in the big kahuna, Joe Biden, right, to close the deal. Right? And the deal that she closed was, I'm not changing, status quo, we're going to do the same thing, right? Joe Biden, I'm going to support him 100%. If I get reelected, don't worry about it, Granite State. And in the meantime, as we move towards colder weather, you know, we got a respite here for a few days, right? And thank goodness, because it was getting cold. We had freezing days, and I think it was 29 one day when I woke up. It's 29 in the seacoast. It's, you know, way colder than that up north, right? And now we got this little respite, which is good, but it's not a solution. But she'll pat herself on the back for that, right? Somehow she passed legislation that would give us 3 days. And then she'll just keep patting herself on the back for all kinds of things that she's done for us. But where are they? You tell those 10 people and 20 people that you're talking to take their gas bill, their oil bill, their medical bills into the voting booth with them. And when they stare down at them and they look, times it by 3, because that's what's coming. And if it hasn't hit you yet, it will. It will hit you. And when it does, it is going to be even more devastating. The worst is yet to come. And we need to get the cavalry down in Washington, D.C. Right? When you look at our seniors, and they have tears in their eyes because they can't pay the bills, they're not going anywhere because they're afraid they use too much gas, that 2 years ago, they could live on their paycheck and they had extra to go to the diner, to go to the movies, to go out to eat, to treat themselves, which is what they look forward to. They could buy a little extra at the store, right? I remember when my grandmother could buy her favorite cookies that she loved with tea when they were having a good week, right? And the look on her face was just wonderful, watching her with her tea and her cookies, and how wonderful she felt. They have taken that away. I have been in grocery stores, standing 4 deep in the grocery store, and watching an elderly couple put their stuff up on the conveyor belt. And then there was a little interruption, and I thought it was those damn QR codes, you know, I was mess up all the time. Well, it wasn't. They looked at the price, and they didn't have the money for it. And when I figured that out, I stepped out, but the gentleman behind said, "Hey, I'll take care of the difference." And the man turned around, and he had tears in his eyes. And I had tears in my eyes. I think the whole damn place had tears in their eyes. And he goes, "Sir, I don't want your money." And you could see a man who was broken because he's got pride. And they have taken that away. She has taken it away. And Joe Biden has taken it away. And it's only going to get worse. Because when we have rolling blackouts, because we only have 16 days left of diesel, and I talked to business people and business folks that came to my town hall that were Democrats, by the way, that are not voting for her, they're voting for me, because they were told they're not going to get diesel for a temporary period of time. Well, how's the inflation? Is that temporary? Was that transitional? Interest rates skyrocketing? Has that been temporary and transitional? That's what they tell you. We're going to break the energy sector, and then we're going to come up with these ideas that we're going to be able to remove fossil fuel, the thing that everybody needs, every industry needs. You even need it to do research and technology on renewable energy. So that, I don't even know how that's going to work without fossil fuel. So they're selling us a terrible bill of goods, and they use money and power and control to convince us to vote for them. Well, you know what I used? I used hard work. I used town halls. I used every community event I could go to. I went to every town and city. I've asked Maggie, maybe now that she supports me, she'll tell me if she's been to every town and city, ever, in her career, and I can't get an answer. And she's been governor, a statewide elected position, and senator for 6 years. It's important to see and talk to people, because her easiest day is to go in and vote yay or nay. She just walks in there, laughs it up with Elizabeth Warren, goes and kisses Schumer's ring, and the vote comes up and crash. She hits it. The hardest day is the day after, when you find out what that yay or nay did to hurt people, and how you're going to make that right. And she has failed to do that. As a general officer sitting in my headquarters during a heated battle, looking at the map, watching where my guys were. Oh, why don't they take that hilltop? If they take that hilltop, we'll win, right? My view from the operations center, right? So I say, give them an order, take that hill, right? But my men and women on the ground come back, my commanders, and they say, hey, sir, we don't want that hill. That's a bad hill to take. We want to bypass that hill, and we want the key terrain behind it. Oh, no, I know better than you. I'm in control. I'm going to tell you what to do. And then they take that hill, but we have way more casualties, and we don't win the tactical battle. That's my worst nightmare. So I never did that as a general. I listened to the men and women on the ground, like I have been listening to you, like I have been in every town and city, holding hands, talking to children, talking to everybody on every political background, even when they didn't want to talk to me, even when they wanted to attack me, even when they spit on me, even when they called me vulgar names. I still stood there and said, I will be serving you at some point in time. You still matter to me. She's done zero. She does Zoom calls. She did a Zoom spaghetti dinner with the Cheshire Democrats, okay, sponsored by a billionaire in California. It can't get any weirder than that. But it's how she operates, because everything she does has an angle that will make you pay for it. And so she figured it out. How do I make them pay for a spaghetti dinner? How do I avoid getting hard questions? How can I, make pretend that I had internet problems and just hang up? If I want to really avoid them, right? So how's this work? I make spaghetti. Oh, by the way, it used to be $1.99 for a box of French spaghetti. Now it's $4.99. Prego is almost $10. Thank goodness my wife makes homemade. She's Italian. She makes homemade sauce. Or as we call it, gravy. And then you get your spaghetti that she's raised the price of, and your sauce, and maybe you can afford the garlic bread, maybe not, and you sit down, and there she is. My spaghetti's great. Is your spaghetti great? I mean, isn't this wonderful way to interact with people? Damn, wrong answer. Right? Listen, I don't know everything, and I will make mistakes. But I will do what she doesn't do. I will admit it, and I'll make it right. and I will listen and learn from you, because after I win on 8 November, I will be doing 10 town halls in each county in centralized locations, so Granite Staters can come and I can listen and learn from them before I go down and get sworn in on 3 January. Really, the ambassador covered really a lot of stuff that I don't have to cover. So I'm going to end here on these 2 things. Because there's no daylight between the problems that she sees and articulates and the problems that I'm going to go down and solve for you. That's going to be my job. And I'm going to take that job seriously. Serious. So, but in order to do that, you have to have a vision. And my vision is grounded in the Declaration of Independence and our God-given rights of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And I believe that that flag that says, "Don't tread on me," is a flag that they have thrown away. That is a flag that warns the government not to tread on its people. And they're treading on you with unlimited government, fear, uncertainty, and control. And we need to stop that. And we need to invest in self-governance, governance of the people, by the people, for the people. And we need to start insisting that our political leaders recognize that we have a constitutional republic and not a democracy. Constitutional republic, you're in charge. Democracy, they're in charge. So when you hear that, let me tell you something that really, really upsets me. How many veterans do we have in here? Cool. Senator Hassan and Joe Biden call me an extremist and a danger to my country. And by extension, that's what they're telling you. And I think it's disgraceful. 2 people who never served in uniform. When I hear that, I get very upset. I served this nation for 33 and a half years. Amen. I did 10 tours in Afghanistan. I commanded thousands in combat. Today is the anniversary of Master Sergeant Bill Brown. I talked to his dad this morning. He was killed in Afghanistan on 6 November 2006. And I stood over him in the operating room as they worked on him. Because I loved him. Because I had a responsibility for him. Because I was accountable to his family. We now have a President of the United States that uses inflammatory language endorsed by her to discredit people who love this nation, who would give their life for this nation, who have given their life for this nation. If not for any other reason, she should not be your United States Senator. So my vision is to go to Washington, D.C. and serve you, be your ambassador, be your conduit to change, answer to you, be accountable to you, be responsible for everything that I do, be transparent, and tell you the truth. I'll do that. I have a mission. And this mission is simple. And I will tell you, this isn't going to be a verbatim recital of our preamble in our Constitution. But they have weakened every institution in our government. And our preamble sets up all our institutions things that we need to invest in for your livelihood and the success of our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren. We need to do that. So it goes like this. We, the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, and ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity. That young man right there, our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren. Right? So I'll go down there with the 4 pillars that I was raised on in my family, that I've used my entire life: God, family, community, country. I'll put that to work for you. I'm a family man. I love my family. I have the most dedicated and wonderful wife, Sharon. She's the rock. She's the one that's been there through thick and thin while I deployed. She was there for those that came back in a casket draped with an American flag. She was there for the families. She knows what public service is. She knows what that commitment is. She knows that. And she has been by my side all those years, and now these 2 years on the campaign trail. And I don't know any other way to confirm in your minds how important God is, how important family is, how important community is, by one, saying, if God wasn't in my life, I wouldn't be here today. If my family wasn't in my life, I wouldn't be here today. If I couldn't leverage the things in my community, I would not be here today. And if we did not have this blessing, God bless it, America, this country that should be setting the standard and needs to set the standard and needs to find its values and get back on track. That's what it's about. We can do that. We can do it. And we can start on 8 November. God bless you. God bless America.
Croc TV.